The title of my video is Lesbians Have Sexual Value Despite Their Age. I have not seen any content on this topic, and you probably haven't either. And it's because it's my own creative idea to cover this topic. And I will explain exactly what I mean by lesbians have sexual value despite their age. My name is Giselle Wallace. I am a certified life coach and author. I provide my lesbian perspective here on my YouTube channel, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share this video message. Thank you. Lesbians have sexual value despite their age. What I mean by lesbians having sexual value despite their age is that when you identify as a lesbian, whether you are single or if you're in a relationship with a woman, whether that's you're in a serious relationship or you're married to a woman, you have sexual value that is not limited based on your age. In many of the spaces on social media, such as YouTube, you will often hear generally men who will make statements such as women hitting the wall by a certain age. And that age varies depending on the male. But they tend to think that women hit the wall by the age of 27 plus. And although I 100% disagree with that male perspective, I will be honest and explain why they think that way. And generally, males will think that way because they want to be with a woman who is fertile. They want to be with a woman who they consider to be youthful and who can bear their children, generally multiple children. And men tend to focus on a woman's age to a fault because they don't understand the value of a woman, because they are focused on metrics, and the metric is age. And what they often fail to understand is that when a woman matures, she matures physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with age, if she chooses to. Because a woman could be very youthful, age-wise. Let's say she's 18 years of age, and she's technically considered an adult, but although her body may be physically mature, meaning she is able to reproduce children, she has the female body parts that men like, this still does not mean that this woman is mature emotionally or mentally or even spiritually. But males, meaning they're not mature men, they don't think about anything outside of the physical. And they think about what they can get out of a woman, which will benefit them. So they don't consider the mindset of a woman. They don't think about her mental health. They just want to know if she's young and fine physically, and can she have children. But even though a woman can have children, does not mean that she is mentally or emotionally prepared to be a mother. And when they talk about having babies, there's this trend going around where men are giving orders for women to have babies. They don't consider talking about marrying this woman, but they will talk about getting her pregnant. But a woman being young because of her age, a woman being able to reproduce is not all there is to a woman. So when I think about women, I think about women holistically. And women are multifaceted human beings. They are of the female sex. And women are not just made for men. At least not all of them are. There are women who identify as lesbian. And lesbians do not date, marry, or sleep with males or men. And lesbians, when we date and marry lesbians, we view age very differently from the average man. And the reason why is because age inevitably changes. If you don't age, then you don't grow. And anyone who does not live a long life will live a short life. In other words, you won't be living anymore. So when people get so caught up on age and view it as a negative aspect of their life because they're getting older, they really don't understand the beauty of aging. And I will emphasize that age does not equal maturity. You can be very young and be immature, but you can also be older and be immature. And likewise, you can be very young and be mature. And you can be older and be mature. Because age does not equal maturity. Age is simply an indicator of a person's time span. What people often focus on when it comes to age is not as important as they think it is. Age is an indicator to place people in certain categories and groups generally. And for example, if they put you in an age range of 0 to 2 years old, they usually are focused on newborn babies or toddlers. And maybe they are focusing on that category of an age because they want to learn how babies change and how babies interact with their parents. Fast forward, if they're focusing on an age group of 12 years old to 17 years old, they may want to know about the adolescent teenage years. So they may do a study to learn, how do adolescent teenagers think and behave? How do they get along in life? So really, age is for purposes of knowing about the development and the changes of specific groups. But does age really mean or determine the personality of a person? Or does age determine or influence the morality of a person? Actually, age does not. A person's age does not determine their morality, meaning whether they have good or bad morals. And their age does not determine whether or not they are mature or immature. And their age does not determine if they are going to be happy or sad. Age is just a number. And so that's why I want to say that lesbian sexual value is always high valued, despite their age. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as lesbians, our sexual value is not viewed according to a male's perspective. We are lesbians, so we look at age differently. Because as women, we understand that society usually likes to marginalize women according to their age. And usually when a woman's age becomes higher in number, they usually view her as less in value. It's very dehumanizing when you think about it. Women who are of different ages, they do experience life differently, just like you experience life differently based on the generation that you were born in. But it's not necessarily because of your age. It has a lot to do with the environment that you were born into. Because the indicator of age for everyone generally will stay stagnant or the same. If you look at, for example, the physical development of a person. So, like a baby and a toddler and a young child and a teenager, a young adult, a middle-aged adult, and an older adult. We know, general details about how the body will change, but this is all physical. There are some other internal changes that may occur, of course, with, for example, your heart, your mind, maybe just your physical health. But that also is different for every person depending on the kind of lifestyle that they had. But what I'm generally trying to explain about age is everybody ages, male or female. But why are people so concerned about their age? Why are people so concerned about their youth? Well, in the context of this message, it's because they want to know if they are going to be desired by another person. Are they viewed as sexually appealing, sexually attractive? And what makes a person attractive? Is it really their age? I'll be honest with you. A person's age, meaning their physical number of how long they have lived on planet Earth, doesn't necessarily make that person attractive. But yet somehow people think age means beauty. Age means that you are youthful. Age means that you are sexually valuable. But it's not. When a person has sexual value, it goes deeper than just their physical age. It goes much deeper, actually. You see, sexual value comes along with time, because when you are single, true singlehood means that you're not in a relationship with anyone and you're not having any type of sexual relations with a person. That is true singlehood. So if you're single, you're either a virgin, or if you're not a virgin, you are in a state of abstinence or celibacy. You are not sexually involved with another human being. And when you are usually in that state, it's because you want to work on yourself, self-improvement, and some people want to work on their sexual health because they realize if they are involved with another human being sexually, they are more vulnerable to contracting sexually transmitted diseases or sexually transmitted infections. And there's other concerns as well. Some women are concerned about pregnancy. But lesbians, we do not have sex with men, so pregnancy is not a concern of ours. Now, if you're not single, and if you are in a committed relationship, or if you're married, let's say you are monogamous. You value monogamy in your relationship. And the partner that you have also values monogamy. And you've had the conversation that you do not believe in infidelity. You believe in having an exclusive emotional and sexual relationship between just the two of you. So you have that understanding, you have that agreement. And if that agreement is broken, well, then you may decide to break up and end that relationship because you highly value monogamy and faithfulness. So, with all of these decisions that you're making, because they are decisions, even though you may not think they're decisions, your sexual value increases. And the reason why is because you know exactly what you will allow and what you will not allow in your life when it comes to your sexual health. Now, why do I say lesbian sexual value remains high despite their age? Well, most people think that women or the female sex is sexually valuable when she's either a virgin or if she only has one sexual partner that she is active with. Meaning you can be sexually active, but it has to be only with one person. And if a woman is either a virgin or if she's only sexually active with one person, then she's considered to be someone who values her body, values her sexuality. Most people do not view a promiscuous woman, or rather, most people do not view promiscuous women as having high sexual value because they are not easily to control, or they are not what they consider to be faithful or committed to one specific person. And it goes beyond just the fact that she's promiscuous. They think about her mind, her emotions. And there's many men who view women as being sexually promiscuous as not being able to maintain a relationship to a man. So many heterosexual males will, or even bisexual males, they view women who are sexually promiscuous as not being able to focus on one partner. She's pretty much viewed as being unstable. But here's what really is the kicker when it comes to men and them viewing women and their sexuality. Men like to be the only one that a woman has been with. If she is not the first person that if he is not rather the first person that she's experienced sexually, he usually already has in his mind a number of how many men that he wants his woman to only have been with. And generally, it's either one male or two males. And that's about it, to be honest. 3 is a stretch. But most men either want a woman who is a virgin or they want a woman who is their first, or rather she's experiencing a sexual relationship for the first time with this man. So he wants to be the only one that she's been with. But it doesn't stop there. You see, the way men view women sexually is very physical. And yes, of course, I mean, they like to look at a woman who they find physically attractive. But I'm more so going to explain really why men are so concerned about women's sexuality and what they're doing with their bodies sexually. You see, men know that they have a physical body part that women do not have. And just to be PG-13, they have a sexual member. And women do not have what a man has for the sexual member. And so men actually look at a woman's body and they think that a woman who does not value her body sexually, she will not be the kind of woman who is for marriage, or she's not the wifey type. Because men think that women, since they are the submissive ones, since women are viewed as the receivers, that makes them more vulnerable and more susceptible to different bodies. And some people may call this soul ties. In other words, men always are calculating how many men a woman has slept with. And like I said, it depends on the man. He has his number. And if a woman is over a certain number, she's no longer considered to be sexually valuable. Because a man views his sexual member as very powerful. And he doesn't think that a woman should be sleeping with multiple men. Because a woman is the receiver. A woman gets penetrated by a man. And so men view women who are the receivers, the ones who are to be penetrated as men. They only view you as sexually valuable when you have 0 male sexual partners, which means you are a virgin. If you are not a virgin, then that's when the man will determine whether or not you are still sexually valuable. So if you've only been with him sexually, meaning he is your first and your only, then he still considers you to be sexually valuable. But if he knows that you are not his first, or rather you have not only slept with him, you have slept with other men, he will want to know how many other men you have slept with. Because men view their sexual member as a tool that is able to really control women. And they know that their sexual tool, their member, highly influences women. And so men don't like to commit to women who have been with multiple men sexually, because they think that you are not able to commit to one man. They don't think that you are stable. They think that you are promiscuous. And they also think about the fact that your body has been exposed to other men's sexual members. And men are very territorial. They pretty much look at a woman's body as if that's their body. You belong to him and him only. And he doesn't like the idea of you being with other men's sexual members, if you get my drift. So men judge women very harshly when it comes to their sexuality and how many men that a woman has slept with. So if you slept with a certain amount of men and men do not approve of how many men you've slept with, then your sexual value decreases. Now, this doesn't mean that men still won't have sex with you, because they absolutely will, but they won't value you and they won't marry you. But many of them will leave you as a single mother. Now, what does this have to do with lesbians? Good question. Lesbians have sexual value despite their age. And here's why. Lesbians do not have sex with men. Lesbians, because we are not sexually active with men, we are not being penetrated by men. Lesbians are either virgins or they are celibate or abstinent. If a lesbian is in a relationship with a woman, then that means she is only sexually active with a woman. Lesbians are female homosexuals. And so the way a lesbian kind of thinks of another lesbian, well, there's a lot of ways we think about it, but let me just basically focus on just this specific topic when it comes to lesbians making a decision to be in a committed relationship with another woman. You see, lesbians highly value a woman who is not sexually promiscuous. But lesbians really love to be with a woman who is exclusively involved with women. Lesbians pretty much almost hate being involved with a woman who is sexually active with men. And so a lesbian will view another woman who is a lesbian, and she is either a virgin or she's abstinent or she's celibate. Her sexual value is extremely high. But her sexual value is also extremely high because a lesbian woman who is in a relationship with another lesbian woman, and they are only sexually involved with each other, they both view each other as very high in sexual value. But when it comes to age, it's really not about age at the end of the day. Because for one, lesbians are not with men, so we're not concerned about what a man thinks of us. We're not male-centered. We're not living our life in a way where a man kind of dictates and influences us when it comes to our sexual health, even when it comes to us deciding to have children. Because many men will want a woman to have a child before the age of 30. But lesbians, we don't really think about pregnancy and childbirth and having children in the traditional sense of the way heterosexual people do. And the reason why is because many lesbians, some of them don't even think about having children. And the ones who do desire to have children, we know that we're both women and we know that we have the gift of having a womb. Either one of us can carry a child and be mothers. And we also have a plethora of ways to consider becoming pregnant. And we, of course, are aware of the physical indicator of age, but we also know that we don't look at a woman as less valuable because she's over the age of 30 or if she's over the age of 40. We don't put restrictions on women because of their age. Why don't we do that? Well, because we're women and we understand women. We're more sensitive to a woman's needs. We also know what it's like to be women. And we know how our bodies work. We know how our female anatomy is and our reproductive system is. And we don't allow men to control our bodies. We don't allow men to control our thinking about how we should view our reproductive system, how we should view pregnancy and childbirth. And we don't allow men to influence us how we should think about our age. Unfortunately, a lot of women suffer low self-esteem because they are constantly being pressured to have children and get married or just be in some type of relationship with a man. And that causes a lot of pressure on a woman because just because a woman is under the age of 25, that doesn't mean she wants to get married or be a mother. And as lesbians, I just believe we have more autonomy and freedom with our bodies and our decisions in when we want to be in relationships and when we decide if we want to have children or not. And we don't think about our age so much. We more so just want to enjoy the experience of being in a loving, same gender loving partnership with a woman. Because in this world we live in, people don't really celebrate our kind of love. So we're very excited to discover love with another woman. And our relationships are more centered on self-love and building a strong partnership. We know that we are capable of bearing children, but we also know that in some cases, some women may not be able to have children. And so there's so many different details that you have to consider when it comes to relationships and thinking about having children or not, and your sexual health and your reproductive system. You're dealing with another human being, and you have to be kind and you have to be patient and understanding. Because when you focus on a person's age only, then you're limiting yourself and your partner. Sometimes people don't realize that their relationships suffer because of people focusing on the wrong thing. Now, lesbians' sexual value remains high despite their age because we are with women. We are sexually involved with women, and we don't have the same concerns as other women who are involved with men sexually. We don't have those same type of pressures or fears, and the fear of pregnancy, for example. Now, of course, sexually transmitted diseases and sexually transmitted infections, that can happen to anyone. However, I will say this, as lesbians, when we are in relationships with women, because we are women, we understand and we have a different experience as women from men, because men generally, they are conditioned to be wild sexually, to sow their wild oats. Whereas women, we're generally conditioned to keep ourselves. But despite what we've been conditioned to do, women innately, they enjoy relationships and they enjoy listening and communicating. And when you are a woman in a relationship with another woman, you can utilize those qualities of being a woman to your advantage in your relationship. And if you are considering being in a monogamous relationship with a woman, your sexual value remains high despite your age, because as women, we don't look at a woman as hitting the wall because she's over the age of 27. The main reason why women are viewed as hitting the wall is because people are so focused on the physical. They're not looking at who a woman really is. And they want to focus on how often can I get this woman pregnant? And that's usually the way a man will think. Women don't think about that in that way. As lesbians, we may, of course, want to have sexual intimacy. We may want to have children, but our mind is not focused on keeping a woman barefoot and pregnant. It's about family. And because lesbians actually highly value being with lesbians, because we do not have sex with men, our sexual value remains high, because we're not submitting to men sexually. We are only with women. And sexual intimacy between women is very pleasurable. It's very intimate. It's very special and unique. And we enjoy the privacy of our lesbian relationships. And we enjoy the autonomy of our relationships, because we're not allowing a heteronormative society to dictate and determine what we do in the bedroom and what we do with our bodies. I am Giselle Wallace, lesbian life coach and author. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share this video. Have a wonderful day.